I run manage the IT operations for Asia Foundation for the US. We're a worldwide company with 19 country offices and then a few offices in the US. As far as my experience with video conferencing, most of it has been with Asia Foundation. Is their main tool is Teams internally. However, we became a Zoom customer once the pandemic started, and to be able to communicate with people outside of the company, external partners, vendors, uh, especially for our country offices, Zoom seems to work a lot better for video chat. So very familiar with Teams, now very familiar with Zoom as I become the global Zoom admin for the company. I mean, as far as the implementation, it was simple. I mean, we had Zoom up and running within, I'd say, a matter of 30 minutes, an hour. Really, there really isn't a whole lot to do other than from a security standpoint, we set up SSO, so we have single sign-on with our Azure Active Directory. But that was probably about the extent of the setup. The rest of it just kind of took care of itself as far as what we needed to do on the back end. Yeah, and some of the custom settings for Zoom, that was just a quick review, but it's pretty straightforward as far as how to use Zoom, how to manage it. Breakout rooms, breakout rooms is managed really well, especially webinars, functionalities, very simple. It's very much the similar experience to just a regular Zoom meeting. And I think the fact that Zoom just works everywhere. It works mobile phone, mobile devices, on your desktop. But I think just from the client standpoint, the client just installs very easily as well. So, anyone pretty much can use Zoom and not really have to be very technical. I know initially they were having some security issues as far as the Zoom bombing. Luckily, we didn't have that because we require all of our users to single sign on and just kind of stayed ahead of the curve, advising them to use passwords for their Zoom meetings or require registration, various options like that. So I really haven't seen any major limitations as far as what features I would like to see with Zoom. I mean, it pretty much does what it needs to do, so works pretty well already. Teams is our app of choice for internal communication. So for group chats, having channels, group channels, one-on-one, or even internal group conversations, meetings within the organization, Teams works really well with that. The difference between Teams and Zoom is that Zoom is it's a better platform just for video conferencing, especially outside of the organization. Anybody that doesn't use Teams or doesn't have familiarity with using Teams, especially like I said, in some of the country offices or in Asian countries, for whatever reason, Teams just doesn't seem to work as well out there. So I'd give Zoom a 9. I mean, of course, there's always areas of improvement, but I mean, as far as the product, works well, very simple and easy to use. There are our rep, she's always been very responsive, very helpful. Anytime we had questions, we were able to get those answered and assistance when we needed it.